Welcome to the beginner series of the Spartan 300 workout. In this phase, we are going to prepare your body to endure the full Spartan 300 workout. We realize that many people are not ready to tackle the full-blown workout. So we have to prepare your body. We have to help you get into the kind of condition that you need to get in order to be able to do the 300 workout. So in this phase, we're going to start with some fairly easy exercises to help build you. We're going to pair each exercise. For example, in this first one, we're going to do a chin-up. Now, the ability to chin oneself is very difficult for the average person. It's one of the most important upper body exercises, working the biceps, the lats, the chest, the abdominals. And we're going to pair it with a major push. Because I know that most people cannot do chin-ups, in the beginner phase, we're going to help aid you with the legs. The thumbs should be just outside the shoulder. You want to keep tension on the lats the entire time. Here I use a half ball to help me get my chin over the bar. I'm going to pull, stand on my tippy toes, squeeze my elbows in. Notice I don't flare the elbows out or contort the wrist. So I'm actually using the legs to help the upper back and the arms. Once this becomes easy, you can start to use one leg. As I do the exercise, it's very important to keep the abdominals tight, and once again, what I call packing the shoulders, or pulling the shoulders and keeping them in the socket. Soon, if you practice this exercise, you will find yourself doing full chin-ups. The partner to the chin-up is the push-up, one of the great tests of upper body strength. Here we're using the exact opposite muscle groups from the chin-up: the chest, the arms, and the shoulders. This is called a Bosu ball. You could use blocks, you could use cushions off your couch. The idea of the pivot point push-up is to build upper body strength so that you can do the full push-ups that will come later in the series. The way it works is this: I offset some of my body weight by placing it on my hips and my knees. To advance in the exercise, once I can do the full 30 repetitions required in the Spartan 300 workout, I can move out a little bit further to my shins. Now I'm supporting more body weight. Notice that I keep the elbows rotated in. I do not let the elbows flare out. It's called packing the shoulders. Notice too that I pull myself down with my upper back, touch the chin to the floor, elbows tucked. To make it a little bit harder still, I can go to my shins. Once you get to the shins and the ankles, you're ready for full push-ups. The advantage to using this type of apparatus as opposed to on the floor, the top part of the movement is too easy, where I'm strongest. But by elevating the knees and the lower body, you notice more weight is put on my arms, and the strength curve of the exercise is a little bit more even, so that I get resistance at the top. Through this modified push-up, you will soon have the upper body power of a Spartan warrior. In the beginner series, our first exercise for the lower body is the full squat. Many people have great difficulty achieving a full squat. If you are stiff or inflexible, you may want to hold on to a piece of apparatus and allow yourself to get into a full squat. Once you can make 30 repetitions of the flat foot squat, your next step will be to work up to 30 repetitions where you do the squat freestanding. Notice that my knee tracks over my index toe. Notice that my butt almost touches my heels. Notice that I keep my back flat with just a little rounding at the bottom. very difficult exercise. The breathing sequence is to exhale like an accordion being squeezed. Breath comes out. Inhale through the nose, like bellows. Exhale and inhale. Notice too, I do them smooth and slow with full control. This will prepare your hips and your thighs for the more difficult exercise in the regular Spartan 300 workout. Strong abdominals are very important. This next exercise will prepare you for the very difficult exercises that we have in the Spartan 300 workout. Notice that I use a slight small roll underneath my back. My legs, 90 degrees, thighs 45-degree angle. I exhale and sit up and roll back slow, allowing the head and the shoulders. Exhale, and notice that I come up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale as I go back. Let the head touch. When that becomes easy, you can make the exercise more difficult by bringing your arms up. Notice too, I do not anchor my feet. I want it to be all abdominals. When you anchor your feet, it becomes a hip flexor exercise. So don't stick your feet under the couch. Make sure you touch the head to the floor each rep. Keep your chin tucked, neck lengthened, tongue behind the front teeth. And roll down slowly, a vertebrae at a time. Soon your abdominal muscles will be strong enough to sustain the Spartan 300 workout. I designed the Spartan 300 workout with human motion in mind, different planes of motion. Notice that we have done this plane of motion. We've worked major hip and thigh in a vertical plane. We have also worked through this plane of motion with the push. Now we're going to work a pull with the bodyweight row. The bodyweight row develops the muscles of the rear shoulders and the upper back, and it helps balance out the muscles developed with the push-up. Few people are strong enough to do the bodyweight row correctly. This exercise will help you develop the strength. Here you can see I have two handles and a strap attached. It could also be a barbell in a power rack at a gym. It could be a broomstick between the back of two chairs. There are many ways to do the bodyweight row. The exercise for the beginner starts with bent legs. I'm going to pull and open the chest, trying to get my chest even with my thumbs. To make the exercise more difficult, I could straighten my legs. Or to make it more easy, I can either walk out away from the bar, change the angle, or I can also adjust the straps a little bit higher to make it a little bit easier. But the main thing is that when I pull, I can trap the back of my muscles and hold with control. Your goal for this exercise, 30 reps. When you can do that, you're ready for the next advance. Notice in the Spartan 300 workout, all the exercises are done in pairs. We just completed a major pulling motion through this plane. Now we're going to do a major push, utilizing primarily the shoulders and triceps. This exercise is preparatory for the more difficult dive through in the Spartan 300 workout. Once again, I want to keep the pit of the arm forward, the point of the arm back. I want to engage the large muscles of my upper back, the lats, to protect my shoulders during the exercise. I'm going to start in the downward facing dog position. My little finger should be even with the outside of the shoulder. Try to get your heels to the floor. If you're stiff and tight, it's permissible to keep your knees bent slightly. Eventually, you want to be able to get your legs straight and the heels to the floor and push back. To start the exercise, I'm going to slowly put my knees to the floor, glide through, and recock. Put the knees to the floor, glide through the hands, and recock my body. from the front. My feet are about hip width. I bend my knees and I put my knees to the floor. I glide. Notice I don't let the elbows flare. Elbows point back. First my nose, then my chin, then the chest, then the belly, and then I recock the position. This is a tremendous upper body exercise for shoulders, triceps, but you'll notice right away the tremendous amount of flexibility involved in the hamstrings and the lower back. This is truly a total body exercise and will give you the triceps and shoulder power necessary to complete the more difficult exercises to come. The next exercise is a groin hip opener and hip and thigh strengthener. It's called the sumo squat. You want to stand with the feet slightly wider than the shoulder. It's okay to use the hands and the knees. You're going to squat and push the knees apart until the top of the thighs are parallel to the floor. It's okay to use the hands to open and stand back up. Pull yourself down with your hamstrings. Arch the back slightly. Try not to lean too far forward. You want to get the top of the thigh parallel to the floor. Hold the knees open and stand back up. Your goal is 30 repetitions. Once you're able to do the 30 reps in good form, you'll be ready for the intermediate Spartan 300 workout. As I mentioned earlier, the exercises in the Spartan 300 workout are based on human planes of motion. Here, we include a major twisting action of the torso, sort of like wringing out all the muscles of the spine. I'm going to use a simple block or box here between my knees to keep the right angle in my legs. You can use a dictionary, a dense pillow, in this case a box of tapes. This is called the twisting crunch. I want to keep my knees hip width. I want to keep my legs 90 degrees, my thighs 90 degrees. Don't worry about touching the elbow to the thigh. Just sit as high as you can. It's important to keep the fingers interlaced. It's important to touch the head to the floor and open the arms. Touch the elbows to the floor. Don't stay here. Squeeze with the back of the shoulders. Now slowly curl up and aim that elbow towards the thigh. Whether you touch or not doesn't matter. It's the twisting action. And avoid bringing the knees to the elbow. Head down. Exhale and down. Inhale through the nose and down. Twist as much as you can and hold. In the rep scheme, it's 1, 1, 2, 2. So in this exercise, 30 is your goal, but 30 per side. I think you'll find this difficult, but once again, it's preparatory for the more difficult exercises to come. This next exercise is a real cardio gasser. It will definitely put lead in your pencil. It's called the sprinter lunge. The exercise looks like this. 1 foot forward. In the beginner level, we keep our hands elevated. The idea is to rapidly change my feet. Observe. And to get a little rhythm, exhale. This exercise is a stamina producer, plus it works all of the muscles of the lower extremities, chest and shoulders.